Finish him!
What is going on, y'all? This is Mr. T, and today we're gonna play some Pokemon Go. This game has been a lot of fun to play and to walk around everywhere looking like a crazy person. And I want to share with you some tips that I've learned through playing Pokemon Go. The first of which is this game is open world, open-ended. There are so many possibilities, so many Pokemon everywhere. The first thing I want to tell you is you're not gonna get every Pokemon around you. It's not gonna happen. You can see that Scyther or that Pinsir around you. That doesn't necessarily mean it is right next to you. It is all dependent on the amount of steps that are nearby on the bottom right when you're looking at the main map. So as I was looking at my main map there, you saw that I encountered a Sandshrew. I'm gonna throw a couple Pokeballs on the Sandshrew here. I caught it pretty quickly, but if I'm looking at my map, one of the things you have to realize is that the number of steps that the Pokemon are from you are basically the amount of meters that they are from you. I think it's in increments of 100 meters. So I think the radius is about 300 meters if there are 3 steps, 200 if there are 2 steps, and 100 meters if there are 1 step. Remember, this is a radius, so if you start walking one way and the feet start getting bigger, that means you gotta start walking the other way if you wanna catch that Pokemon. So that's one tip I can give you. The second tip is, you saw at the beginning of this video, I had one of the Pokespots were lit up. They were dazzled with a bunch of confetti and a bunch of stuff everywhere. That does mean that someone has put a lure module on that Pokespot. You do have access to those, I believe, up to level 7. If you put a lure module on a Pokespot, you have the possibility of being able to stay in that spot for the next half hour and catch a bunch of different Pokemon, which is pretty cool. But anyway, I'm showing you in the background here just some of the Pokemon that I was able to catch today. I went to the beach and with my beautiful wife, and I caught some good Pokemon. You saw right there, I put a Raspberry. You have access to those after level 8 or 9, I believe. I put a Raspberry on the Pidgeotto here because if you look at the ring next to Pidgeotto, there is a reddish orangish ring instead of the normal green or yellow ring. This means that Pidgeotto is a lot harder to catch than the average Pokemon. Throwing down the raspberries or items that allow you to make that Pokemon more docile first makes them easier to catch. Another thing that you notice is that a lot of the times when I throw a ball, I try to make sure that the circle on the ball actually diminishes to as small as possible before I throw the ball. That way, well, there I kind of messed up. That way, the Pokemon is actually caught. The reason I'm showing you this gameplay kind of scattered and kind of everywhere is because it is very difficult sometimes to get a good recording on Pokemon Go as you're kind of running around trying to catch around some Pokemon, and sometimes people get in the way like that. So it can be very difficult, but it's really, really fun. The Pokemon are everywhere. I've gotten to catch some rare Pokemon. I'm about ready to evolve one of my Pokemon today, which I might show you in a later video. And I might also show you me going into a gym battle and actually winning. The gyms are something for a different video. This video for today is just to introduce you to this beautiful game and to kind of just show you some of the gameplay that I've been doing. There's a bunch of Pokemon everywhere. The main tip that I can give you though is you gotta get out to different places. The water Pokemon are at the beach. They're not going to be in random places. I have not seen a single water Pokemon outside of somewhere where there's a large body of water. So if you want that Cubone or you want that Kingler, you do need to go out to the beach. Not Cubone, sorry about that. If you want that Horsey or you want that Kingler, you do need to go out to the beach. Now, near the beach here, I found a Taurus, which I found very interesting because I was in the downtown ocean area in San Diego, and I was able to find this Taurus here, and I was very excited about that. But I kind of wonder too, The water Pokemon are definitely by the beach. That is 100% the case. That is never any different. However, you're gonna find a lot of random Pokemon around your house, around more residential, urban areas. And I was able to find this Taurus. I found a bunch of Rhyhorns near my house. I live in a pretty residential, suburban area. The Taurus here, I was amidst, you can see there are a bunch of cars in a sidewalk. I threw a raspberry to it because I wanted to make sure it was easier to catch, and then I wasted a couple Pokeballs on it. I messed up with the ring there. But the Taurus there was just hanging out by a sidewalk. Sometimes, you know, Taurus break free from the zoo or, you know, the barn near an ocean pier somehow, and they make it all the way there, and they have a lot of fun. Now, the reason I sped up this video right here with the Ivysaur, if you end up looking at some of the footage here, I threw a ridiculous amount of Pokeballs, and this is only part of the footage. I actually did not record everything because it was extremely frustrating, and it almost made me throw my phone down the pier. I was in a pier next to the ocean, and somehow the Ivysaur popped up. It liked hanging out by the pier. Maybe it was getting fed some nice Pokemon pellets by the people around. The Ivysaur was extremely difficult to catch. You could see there that I was throwing down a bunch of Pokeballs, and the Pokeballs just kept going off to the side. I think sometimes if you are in windy areas and the game hears it, it does try to emulate that environment. It actually wasn't that I was throwing the Pokeballs incorrectly. Some of them were, of course, but the Pokeball just kind of went everywhere, and I ended up throwing, guys, 55 Pokeballs at this Ivysaur. I really wanted that goddamn Ivysaur, guys, so bad that I threw 55 Pokeballs to it, and I think I wasted about 10 raspberries on it. When I finally caught it, I was incredibly happy. The game kept freezing a bunch on me, and that's one thing that I've noticed about this game thus far, is that the game freezes quite a bit. This Rhyhorn was hanging out at the beach, by the way, in the water, so I'm not sure what that was. I know Rhydon learned Surf in the old Pokemon Red and Blue, but Rhyhorn was just kind of hanging out by the beach there, on top of the water, just like, hey, what's up, man? How you doing? You know, I'm just gonna go for a swim here. Gotta get this rocks. Gotta get my rocky exterior nice and moisturized. You know, you can't be ashy. You can't be an ashy Rhyhorn. You gotta get all the lady Rhyhorns to right up on top of that rock. Anyway, threw a bunch of raspberries and Pokeballs to that Ivysaur, and it was pretty crazy. But the last bit of advice that I can give you about this game is the game's gonna freeze a lot. The servers are overloaded continuously. I have seen many people here where I'm from playing this game on the street randomly, and it has been crazy, guys, just how many people are playing this game and just how popular this is everywhere. This game is getting played by everyone, just everywhere, and it's just crazy to think about how many people are playing, and the game's gonna freeze a lot. So what you have to do is, when the game is freezing that much, you have to make sure that you allow yourself the opportunity to come out of the app for a little bit, hang around, and just try to stay off the app for a couple seconds and then come back on. If the game wants you to log on to your Google account, a lot of times that means that the servers are overloaded, so I would actually exit out the app entirely and try to come back in. Anyway, I'm having a lot of fun with this game, and I want to show you more gameplay as we go along. I hope that you like this video. If you like this video, please leave a like in the section below, and please comment on what you'd like to see from Pokemon Go as we go along. I want to show you a gym battle. I also want to show you an evolution for a Pokemon I'm ready to evolve at this point. This is Mr. T, guys. Peace out.
Wow.